Wow, so before we leave Bouchard's local hideout, let's have a little look around here. As we got here, the access was initially blocked off by a collapsed tunnel, which we had to clear up. But now that we're here, we can see that the only other exit that there is leading out from this place is a door which is managed by this lever on the second floor of the hideout, which is only accessible when moving a large crate under this ledge and doing some acrobatics. You probably already know where I'm going with this, but is he really constantly moving this large crate around and climbing to the ledge every single time he wants to go outside? And when outside, is he simply going to leave the door open for everyone? I mean, yes, he has Arnold here in the hideout with him, but he looks like in no shape or form to do anything, to be honest. Or does the door also have a regular lock, which can easily be operated by a simple key? If so, then why do we have to do this questionable lever pulling puzzle, and why doesn't he simply let us out, as it is in the best interest for both of us? The logic in this game, it is so unfinished, unpolished, it's raw.
Yeah, it's raw. How can I get down on my knees? Yes, it's fucking raw. Hey, look at me. Is that better? It's raw.
Upon leaving Bouchard's hideout, we emerge at a room with a boxing ring, where we can bet on a friendly round of two rookies trying to beat each other up.
My legs feel stronger.
Pro tip is to not save in this room after betting on a match, as you will run into a bug which causes you to have a cinematic experience of a never-ending stare of competition upon loading the game. In addition to that, we can also see one guy's brains floating above him in the corner. But enough with the sightseeing. So we're back on the streets, now looking to get in touch with the pawnbroker, and if you're wondering whether you can revisit already visited locations in this game, then the answer is kind of, well, no. You could go back and visit Café Metro for an instant, but not the Le Serpent Rouge. Why? No idea. The action for getting through the doors leading inside the clubhouse is now disabled for whatever reason, so if you missed out on any pickups, they are gone for good. Upon reaching the pawnbroker's shop, we unknowingly bump into Mr. Eckhart himself and find the broker to be brutally murdered. It doesn't take a genius to connect the dots regarding who the monster is and who is behind all those killings happening around Paris. Anyways, the place is rigged to blow, and after grabbing some documents, we try to make it through the basement tunnels, which would be a breeze if the controls weren't that terrible. But now, it's story time!
Esteemed Cabal members, the hour of your reward grows ever closer. As you know, we already possess 3 of the Obscura paintings. Our contact, Professor von Croy, located the 4th one for us here in Paris. When we have this, we will reassemble in Prague. It is time to awaken the sleeper. Hopefully, we will be more successful this time. We are also closer to the 5th and last Obscura painting in Prague. We will gather at the Strahov. Gunderson.
Master Eckhart.
Dispatch your team for the 4th painting.
Immediately.
And just like that, we're somewhere in some sewers, because of course, there's gotta be a sewer level, and we've changed into a different outfit as well.
It won't turn. My arms aren't strong enough. I think I'm strong enough to turn those valves. I think I'm strong enough to turn those valves.
From here, we do an hour of our regular lever pulling, acrobatics and minor valve puzzling to eventually blow our way into the lower levels of the Louvre.
Dive, girl. Dive.
The Louvre itself is rather boring and uneventful, mostly consisting of dodging around lasers and trying to get to the actual archaeological dig site itself.
My legs feel stronger. I feel stronger now.
Hey, vous, plus un geste! What the fuck is that?
Once through the dig site, into the actual tomb itself to start searching for the obscure painting, things are finally starting to look something like an actual Tomb Raider game, with raiding tombs and stuff. There is platforming, traps, and even some puzzles thrown in for good measure. The atmosphere finally starts looking like it's going somewhere. Now, do you remember how in previous Tomb Raider games, fire was an absolute bitch to deal with, simply because it drained your health so quickly that getting set ablaze generally meant that you would pretty much immediately just reload the last save game? Well, not in here. In Angel of Darkness, fire is usually just a minor inconvenience, which you can easily mitigate and recover your lost health by eating a candy bar. Yes, candy bars do restore your health in this game amongst other things, because you know that Lara simply would not be herself with an empty stomach. Speaking of fire, let's touch the topic of water whilst we're at it. I can't believe I'm saying this, but swimming is actually the very best part about Tomb Raider 6's gameplay. The controls during these sections are like night and day when compared to them on the regular on-the-ground controls. It does kind of give off a vibe of being a poor Unity title with such fluid underwater controls, but it all feels like a breath of extremely needed fresh air at this point. Sad thing is though that there really aren't that many sections in the game which involve swimming, and that's really sad for me to say, as generally speaking, water levels in my opinion usually are the very worst that games have to offer. But let's talk about the 4 different temples which you have to solve and get a gemstone from in order to proceed in the main tomb. First of all, we have the Neptune's Hall, which is, as you can guess, a water temple, and well, it's pretty good. Mostly due to underwater controls masking the otherwise horrible gameplay. You pull some levers, raise the water level, grab the gem, and you're out. Then there's the Wrath of the Beast temple. Why not simply call them fire, water, earth, and wind is beyond me. I guess they were trying to avoid the cliché. Anyways, in that temple, the ground starts crumbling bit by bit into oblivion, and you need to navigate through the collapsing cavern to reach the other side. Once there, the floor somehow magically regenerates itself, and you need to pull 2 levers on either side of the room to open up the gate leading back to the main hall. Now, don't even bother with the Guardians, they're even slower and more sluggish than how Lara controls and cannot hurt you whilst you're performing an action, such as pulling a lever. And even if you do get set ablaze, there's a conveniently placed waterfall waiting for you nearby. It's like whoever designed this place and put those eternal guardians to guard the gemstone really wanted to give the thief a fair chance of getting out there alive with the gem.
Fuck.
My strength is increasing.
Then we have the Breath of Hades temple, which is just a tiny room with strong winds blowing at random, and it is up to you to hop your way across the moving stumps to the other side in order to grab the gem. This is not a difficult task, but is more like a test for your patience. How patient can you get with these shitty jumping controls? The thing is that Lara has 2 types of jump mechanics in this game. The regular ones, where you jump from a standstill or have a run-up before jumping, and then a separate tiny hop, which you initiate by pressing jump whilst also holding down the walk button. The latter one is an absolutely atrocious mechanic, simply because, at random, Lara will decide to change the direction of the hop, mid-air. There is no 100% way of telling where she will try to hop when you use this mechanic, and this is just bad design. And now we arrive at the last temple, the Sanctuary of Flame. This one's really easy if you know what I know by now. So do not try to make a run for the gem. The game makes it look like this is timed and you would need to reach the gem before the whole place is lit up, but don't. Wait until the whole place is set ablaze and then carefully just go do the jumping, get the gem and get out. I spent around 10 minutes trying to outrun the flames, constantly reloading the game. It can possibly be done, but I didn't manage it in the end, so why bother at all if you aim speedrunning? In any case, after you have all the 4 gems, you gain access to the machinery room beneath the main hall, where you do some acrobatics and valve turning. Now here's something interesting I noticed during this section. Lara always turns every valve in the game clockwise, even if it opens the valves. Sure, now I'm simply picking on the game, because I can, but that's also kind of the point of this video. After starting up whatever machinery that was in the basement and heading up all the way back into the main hall, we can now start climbing to the top of the hall as the pillars have now been raised.
I feel stronger now.
At the very top of the hall is the room where the sought after Obscura icon lies, though we do have a boss fight in our hands before we can get it. Well, kind of. Let's just say that the boss fights in this game are a wee bit broken. You see, this ghost fellow can't really hurt Lara when she is ducking, and we're definitely going to harass this oversight to its fullest. The idea behind this section is that the real Obscura icon changes places when you get too close to it and the ghost is coming after you. So what you need to do is position yourself somewhere close but not too close to the icon, duck down, keep on shooting the ghost until it gets stunned and then make a quick dash for the icon. In my playthrough, notice how I started the action of picking up the icon and then it got transferred over to another statue, yet in the end I still got it in inventory. Well, all's well that ends well, I guess. But what now? We have the Obscura icon, so back to the surface we go! Luckily, all the tunnels fill up with conveniently flowing water and we can simply swim our way up to the dig site under the Louvre itself. This also marks the end of an actual tomb raiding in this game, so if you were expecting more ancient atmosphere, traps, etc., then you're fresh out of luck. And now, it is time for a visual story time!
Take the rear door. Stay sharp.
Swing to sector A9. Fan out and keep low. Okay, maintain radio silence. You have your targets. Move out.
So we could not possibly expect to get away with the Obscura thing that easily, and thus need to force our way out of the museum. Here I would like to also point out a couple of things. The most effective weapon in the whole game is the taser. It does not have unlimited ammunition, but it takes down any humanoid with a single shot, guaranteed. That's a pretty strange weapon to make into the best one in the whole game, though. Also, have you noticed how Lara still has 2 holsters on her hips, as per usual, but always only uses a single handgun? Yes, I did as well, and I am sad to announce that throughout my gameplay, I never had a chance to dual wield any of the guns in the game, like it was the standard for the whole series so far. Was dual wielding even implemented in the game? Well, I did look it up on the internets and it seems that the feature was implemented and you were supposed to be able to dual wield Vector R35 pistols. But that never really made it into the final game version. Another corner that was probably cut due to the pressure of getting game out in time and avoiding delays. Also, we are now through approximately 50% of the game and only now we get to unlock the ability to sprint. If that wasn't weird enough, we get it by, get this, opening a cabinet.
My foot speed has increased. Hold down the sprint button to run faster.
In which universe does opening a cabinet with your arms affect your ability to use your legs for sprinting? Anyhow, let's get on with our escape from the Louvre and have a story time with Curtis. Well, Curtis has magical powers.
What the fuck, man?
You okay?
Bouchard, what are you doing here?
No time now. Quickly!
Was anyone around when you got here?
No, no one. Come on!
Bouchard, I must get back to Von Croy's apartment. There's something I have to check out there.
Your friend's place, of course. Where's it?
Rue Valise, the Chantel building. Do you know it?
My driver will. Get in.
What were you doing at the Louvre?
Charting police shortwave. You were attracting a lot of attention in there. I figured you might need some help.
Thanks.
Wouldn't you prefer somewhere safer than your friend's apartment?
I found some leads in the Louvre that may link to his death. I have to check his apartment.
We're almost there. There's something you should know. The police bands were full of details of another monstrum killing in Prague.
Prague? Not a dealer named Vasily. Matthias Vasily?
Yes. You knew him?
He's connected with what I need to find at Von Croy's apartment. I need to go in alone.
Okay, I'll wait here.
Appreciated, Bouchard. Appreciated, Bouchard.
She's inside now. You can send in the cleaner.
tracking 5 Obscura paintings for a client. People are dying out there.
Handle it going. Egypt, Werner. You walked away and left me.
Get out! Get out of the way!
Okay, so Lara now seems to somehow remember more of what happened during the night that Werner was killed, even though she was passed out. Now, it is clear that Eckhart was behind Werner's death, and we are also going after him. Well, kind of. And then, we do get to have a serious boss fight with Hulk Hogan's poor cousin of a cousin of a cousin that he never had, the Cleaner. Look at this amazing battle. Top-notch gunplay. Most intense moments in gaming history of boss fights are being shown right here.
What the fuck?
But we simply cannot have all work and no play, right? So we take a small breather to enjoy the generous scenery shown off by this amazingly cinematic camera angle. Now we know exactly where the development budget went. In any case, it's time we finish up with the Cleaner and end our adventures in Paris. We also find an actual use for the crawling mechanic during this section. Did you know that in Angel of Darkness, Lara can now not only crawl, but can also go full prone, all commando style when pressing the sneak button whilst crawling? Been a good one half of the game so far without any need for it, but at least we can now safely check it off the list that it was indeed used and was not a useless addition to the gameplay mechanics at all.
Is she taken care of yet? Hello? Is she dead yet? We have to get back to Prague.
No, Bouchard. She isn't. But your little friend is. I'll take care of you later. It's time I visited Prague.